Geneva Motor Show of 2011 saw what was generally seen as a resurgent, confident industry shrugging off the recession and uncertainty over alternative fuels and coming back with an impressive array of sexy metal and a raft of production-ready EVs and hybrids. With 7 halls of cars, over 250 exhibitors and around 2,000 men rocking the indoor scarf look, there was plenty to take in, almost too much to cover over the 2 days that we were there. We rounded up some of the things that caught our eye over at the show. First up at Geneva was the Lamborghini Aventador, a car that looked like an amalgamation of something 100 people would envisage when asked to describe a Lamborghini. The Aventador is basically an evolution of the Murcielago, which it replaces, and the Reventon. And this is no bad thing, as the new Lambo was probably one of the better supercars on display. Punters obviously think so, as this year's allocation is already sold out. If you're wondering about the name, yes, it is another crazy fighting bull, which makes you all the more grateful Lamborghini doesn't have any British roots. A 250k supercar called Tyson probably wouldn't have the same appeal. At the other end of the scale was the Ferrari FF, an intriguing shooting brake that probably flattered to deceive in pre-show publicity pics. The dimensions of the FF appear, in the metal, to be somewhat stretched for the purposes of swallowing golf clubs, but hats off to Ferrari anyway for trying something different in a segment that was drawing diminishing returns from the horsepower battles of the last 10 years. Still, this is one estate that will comfortably do 208 miles an hour. The Pagani Huayra left a lot of journalists scratching their heads, not because of the car itself, but of exactly how to pronounce its name. Quickly labelled as a Pagani sneeze, the Huayra sounds to my mind like Jimmy Nail inquiring into one's health. Expect to see the sneeze on European roads from this year at around £1 million. Not only is Koenigsegg trying to bring back biofuels, it's also trying to make ski boxes fashionable again. Koenigsegg reckons the Agera R is good for 273 miles an hour, putting the Veyron into the shade, but we're not sure whether that speed is achievable with a roof box or not. Some loved it, some hated it, but the Alfa Romeo 4C concept was constantly mobbed by snappers, pretty ladies and assorted car nerds during the first 2 days of Geneva. Was it the matte paint? Was it the design? Or was it the 235 1.75 litre engine? Or was it simply relief that Alfa had finally made a good-looking car? Whatever the reason, on buzz alone we'd have to name the 4C as the most popular car of the Geneva show. Whether the Aston Martin Virage is a cynical rebadging exercise or not, it looked pretty good in the orange paint job on the display at Geneva. Apparently built for all the people who thought the 40 bhp difference between the DB9 and the DBS needed to be filled with another car, there's the Virage. The DB9 owners, sorry. While there was lots of exciting stuff going on at Geneva, there are always plenty of strange sights at car shows that attract our attention. Among the dolly birds and the mullets and the robots and the launchers, there are bound to be a few oddities. Here are a few that caught our eye. As if the sight of ASIMO, Honda's robot with the voice of a haunted child, running around the stage at Geneva wasn't enough, we were then given reason to doubt ASIMO's comic timing with an awkward press conference co-hosted with Honda UK MD Ken Keir.
It is just like the way I charge myself.
Exactly, ASIMO. Exactly the same.
But, funnily enough, Honda's launch wasn't the most surreal. GM designer Mark Adams unveiled the new Zafira concept, which previews Vauxhall's new medium MPV, from inside a virtual igloo, a bit like a Bond villain detailing his plans for global domination. It's hard to imagine Mark Adams getting to the middle of a dust-up with a rival designer, but something very similar was going on at the stand next door, where former BMW design guru Chris Bangle, he's the one with the beard and teacherly attitude, buttonholed new Saab scribbler Jason Castriota over his vision for Saab.
Seen the Ursaab? It looks like the Ursaab. The original Ursaab is a wing plane fuselage and a teardrop canopy laid on top of it.
Okay, but I kind of feel like it's kind of like aero cars in general.
Yeah.
Castriota puts up quite a spirited defence and gets in a dig about the butt, a reference to Bangle's notorious rear ends. But the suggestion that the Phoenix draws on the Ursaab and the mention of aeromotional design language has us just about siding with Bangle.
Yes.
All right, there you go. That was the right answer.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
What Bangle, Castriota and Adams all showed at Geneva was a strong understanding of the connection with cars and facial topiary. Obviously we approve. Can't think why. Finally, he's one of the perils of launching a new car at a motor show. The new Audi A3 concept looked pretty sharp on the stands, but if it's going to prove so difficult to physically get into the car, we think Audi might struggle. So that was our 2011 Geneva show. If you want to know more about what went on out in Switzerland, head over to motortalk.com for news and analysis, or to the Motortalk blog for funny pictures of cars. For the traditional supercar porn shots, try our Flickr account, and for stuff about cars and strictly limited 140 character factoids, hit up the Twitter account. Until next time, it's been Air Emotional.